Welcome back, everyone, to the Abundance Formula podcast. I'm not sure if you can see, those of you on YouTube, I have a sling on my arm. For those of you just listening on iTunes, Spotify, or whatever your choice of platform is, I've had an interesting weekend, to say the least. So, oh my word, it was a busy weekend. It was going to be the final hosting of an event. I had several events that I'd hosted prior to that week. And so I was going to be hosting a baby shower on Sunday. I attended a really amazing fundraiser on Saturday for adaptive athletes for prosthetics, and that was great. But so this incident happened Sunday. So Sunday I did the baby shower, great friends, and then the kids wanted to go roller skating. Take your kids roller skating, they said. And so we were going to go roller skating, and we went after this baby shower. And the problem was that there was like 2 or 3 different birthday parties happening at that Sunday night. Apparently that's a really popular time. I guess it makes sense. We weren't thinking about that. The kids just wanted to go. So we went. It was really busy. And so normally, since our kids are very new, they're only 6 and 3, learning to roller skate. Normally they'll skate with those little like plastic walker things that they've made so that kids can hold on to something while they're learning to get their feet right and all that stuff. So needless to say, because of the birthday party situation and all the children, those were all taken. So there was none of those walkers available. And I actually wasn't even going to skate because I had a migraine and was just really tired. And so I decided to sit off to the side at first and just ate something, and it got my headache under control. But I felt bad because Kellen was out there, my husband, holding both our girls by the hand, trying to kind of help them skate. It was just, I felt bad. So I was like, that's really, I could see he was having a hard time. And, they were wanting to do a little bit more, but he can only spot both of them so much. So I thought, heck, I guess I just need to get out there and I'll help him out. So got skates on, went out to skate, and I'd literally maybe been out there like 7 minutes before, apparently. So I didn't see this. From my perspective, all I knew is I was just skating forward normal, and then I feel 2 little hands just shove me really hard at my low back and just completely take my feet out from under me. Apparently behind me, what had happened is Malia was skating and she started to fall forwards, and she doesn't know, you can't just like bounce off other people so you can stay up. Like that's going to do something to them. So she just like pushed off of me to keep herself upright. And I didn't know that. She didn't say anything. So she just took me out. My feet went completely up above my head, and I tried to catch myself. And if you're on YouTube, you can see, but tried to catch myself. And then my elbow just completely snapped. I heard it snap. It was all bad. My husband, he's funny telling the story. He's like, everything's broken. I watched it all break. Luckily, no, my shoulder didn't break, and I did think that my wrist might have broken as well, but luckily x-rays did not reveal a broken wrist, but it definitely is strained. So yeah, I just broke my arm. So that was a surprise of a Sunday. Crazy. It's crazy just to even think about in your day that like, what can change so fast? I'd woke up that morning, had both hands to do my hair, do my makeup, get ready for this event, had a great baby shower, played with the kids outside on a playground, and then you go roller skating, and next thing you know, whether it's your kid or somebody else, could just completely take you out, break your arm, and, changes the way you're going to do things for the next several weeks or months. So this is the first like big bone that I've broken. If y'all have been listening to the podcast, I think it was Labor Day was the first time I ever broke any bone, which was just my toe, Labor Day weekend at the swimming pool. But, a toe, it doesn't really, it hurts for a bit, but there's nothing extraordinary you have to do about it. You kind of just modify some things and move on. So I do have a cast, which you can't see on the video, but I'm in a sling, and then I've got a posterior cast. So it's just hard on the back, but wrapped with gauze and ace wrap all around. So I get this off literally the morning before Thanksgiving. And then they want me to start ranging it. So luckily it doesn't need surgery. That was a huge answer to prayer, but just, rocking out this cast for a little bit. So first big bone I've broken. I don't know how people, like the same people, like my husband, for example, or like my dad, will break bones and then continue to do risky things, knowing that it could happen again. I'm like so not a fan of this whole broken bone thing. It's been so painful. It's, you know, irritating, right? I'm like thinking, why would people do things like this over and over again? Like get on a motorcycle, for example, husband, father, like why would you get on another motorcycle again, knowing that like this could happen, very likely or whatever. So I probably won't be when I say that, I don't plan to roller skate anymore. I don't. But anyway, so that was the weekend. It was a big weekend, a fun weekend, and then, we finished it with a boom. But yeah, so I got the cast on Monday. But it got me thinking not only about how things can change so fast, but we get wrenches thrown in our life's system all the time from different levels of seriousness. And it's easy to either just be really frustrated about life being more difficult for a while or forever or whatever it might be in your particular situation. But it really just makes you sit and think, okay, you could choose what perspective you want to take of it. It could be seen as inconvenient and irritating and slowing me down and all the things, or I could choose to look at it and say, like, for example, yesterday was the first day I went back to my practitioner job. I knew I was going to have to be modifying things. I really didn't know how much I was going to be able to do, but I was going to see. And, I was able to make it through the workday and do most of the things, definitely by getting creative and having to modify how I was doing it. And or ask for help sometimes when I really just didn't need to be doing certain things with my arm. And so it just got me thinking, okay, you can choose the perspective of being put out, or you could choose the perspective of being like, okay, this is, just good mindset work, good exercise of my creativity, my problem solving, my learning to ask for help when I need it, trying things in new ways, seeing things from different angles, like really, I mean, it really is. And it's been kind of fun, and you can have fun with that and be like, hey, this is cool. I'm going to learn over the next however long of this recovery, just some new things I didn't know. And also just building new self-confidence of, oh, hey, I didn't think that I could put my child's sock on with one arm, but I did. I had to do it with my teeth, but we did it, because I've been having to get the girls ready on my own for school and myself for work in the morning with my one arm. And so you got to get creative. And so it's been kind of fulfilling on one strange end to be like, wow, I wondered how I was going to do that. And also just knowing like there's other people that have to do this all the time, whether they're an amputee or, what they have, they learn. There's people that are crazy capable with one arm or whatever they have going on. And so it was kind of like a little challenge to myself of, all right, there's people out there doing this, so I can do it too. Let me just get creative. Let me put my thinking cap on. Let me, just try stuff, right? And that's good exercise for your mind to work through. Great problem solving. It's like doing puzzles. And so I've chosen to have that perspective on it because one of my favorite quotes that I posted on Instagram maybe a couple weeks ago is by T. Harv Eckert, who wrote the best-selling book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. So he has this really great quote in there where he says, it's not about being the right in the right place at the right time. It's about being the right person in the right place at the right time. And that's so true. And so we can see these day-to-day inconveniences or these things or these wrenches thrown in our system as just irritating, rough, and focus on the negative. Or we can see it as like, okay, all the problem solving I'm going to have to do over the next several weeks are all part of making me that right person that I need to be in the next right place at the right time to make the most out of the opportunities that are coming my way, or the impact that I'm going to make, or the testimony that I'll have, or the way I'll be able to relate to other people, the grace I can give to myself, learning about myself. So it's like you can choose that perspective. And I have, and it's really neat. Nothing's ever wasted. I've always believed that every experience is never wasted. I totally believe that for whatever reason I was meant to break my arm. It was almost like hilariously serendipitous in the fact that I wasn't going to skate. I had a headache. I got that resolved enough. There was no child walkers available because there happened to be 3 different birthday parties. And so my husband was out there alone. So that's the only reason I decided to go out there. You know what I mean? So it's like everything just fell into place for whatever reason. And I can choose to see that all these little things now that I'm having to tackle along the way are just making me the right person for whatever reason and for whatever the mission down the road, whether it's immediate or farther down. It's all playing a role. It's all part of this greater story where we're all interwoven together. It's just another color thread being sewn into this quilt, this masterpiece. And so you can make life's difficulties more fun or exciting or less heavy if you can look at it that way. And it also made me think about one of these really great conversations I had with one of the guests I had on this podcast, Chris Harder. He was several episodes ago. I'd have to look back up and see which episode it was. But we were talking about, breakthroughs and things like that. And he had this great perspective of saying, like, there's really not any breakthroughs. Like on the outside, we look at people's successes and we say, wow, that moment, that particular story, that's when they had their breakthrough. And he's like, there's really no such thing as breakthroughs. He's like, when you're the one living it, that was just another action that you took, another tiny piece, non-shiny piece of action that you were just taking all along. All these small compounded assimilations of just effort put in your life, all the putting your kids' socks on with your teeth and, whatever, all those little things from whatever challenges and good things that have happened, just doing the do. It's the compilation of all of those, and then the tide shifts. Enough has come about that the tide has shifted, and then people see that on the outside maybe, but they didn't know that it was all these non-shiny efforts that were just put in daily. The resilience, the consistency, the discipline, the perspective shifts, all these things, the asking for help, the overcoming the challenges on your own when you have to, getting creative, all of these things are just what's happening and required all the time, every day, that stack up into these successes that people see on the outside. And it just got me thinking, like, another great example of it, or visual, if you will, of what that means to become the right person at the right place at the right time. That's what on the outside looks like a breakthrough. But it's this journey of building into being the right person at that moment. For that to even matter is almost like you being in a boat, and it's all the paddles. It's all the paddles on the right side and the left side, and aligning the boat and turning the boat and getting it so you're in the right direction to capitalize upon the current when you get to the current. And then there is a phase where you get to kind of ride that current and things are a little bit easier for a bit. But then you're going to hit a new change in the stream, a new change in the river, a new change in the tide, and you're going to have to adapt again and paddle and paddle and paddle. And so it's all the paddling, it's all the direction changes, it's all the muscles you're implementing to get in the right direction that's making you the right person to ride the current, to ride the wave effectively when you get there. And so that's just kind of the perspective I've chosen on this little mishap here, as you can even choose to see it as a mishap, or you can just use it as a piece of your story and say, all right, how's this making me into the right person that I need to be for the next right time for the thing I'm supposed to be doing next. So it's just an interesting way to think about it. So I just wanted to challenge you guys today to start looking at your life that way, to start looking at the inconveniences as, not setbacks, but setups, opportunities to take the shot. I was on a totally different conversation talking with someone else about, somebody trying to, maybe step up into their true potential and, mature up a little bit. And, if they're never given that opportunity to do that, if you don't give someone the shot to try to shoot that 3-point shot, they'll never know they can make one. If you never give them the chance, then they'll never know. And they can, and they might have to shoot it several times, but you've got to be able to be willing to take the shot, and you got to be willing to give people the shot. So you can choose to see these potential setbacks as setbacks, or as the opportunity for you to step up and gain some new skill sets to make a shot and I think that's huge. So I hope this was maybe enlightening for you today, maybe give you a little laughs, maybe you can relate a little bit, but I hope that it can mainly challenge you to look at whatever's going on in your life, especially something that doesn't feel like it's for you, and see if you can find out how it could be. See how you could turn around the lens a little bit and see how what part of it, if you're in it anyways, you might as well capitalize on it. How can it build things in you or strengthen some kind of skill set, perspective, emotional strength, whatever it may be, or just funny memories? What can it do for you to just make your life better in the long run, or to help make other people's lives better? And just ultimately keeping in mind just Everything that's happening is making you become the right person that you need to be for the next thing in your journey. So, hope this can help you today. I hope that you enjoy the episode. Make sure you share them when they're helpful, and make sure you go leave a 5-star review now that we're newly on all the platforms. All the past reviews were on iTunes, so make sure if you listen on Spotify or listen on all these other platforms, iHeartRadio, leave us a 5-star review if you feel so inclined, and we will catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye.